this? Or?
Today, at a very wet Clarence Park, we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson after the Saints have gone down to a 3-2 National League South defeat to Chippenham Town, who have actually taken our place in the playoff places now. A highly entertaining game, Ian, but when you're a goal down in 37 seconds, you're chasing it from the start.
Yeah, I mean, highly entertaining is probably the word that you're using, but it wasn't. For me, it wasn't highly entertaining. I felt defensively today we were awful, and I felt we got what we deserved in the end. We didn't defend properly. We didn't defend correctly. We made too many mistakes, and as you say, within 30 seconds we were 1-0 down. We got lucky that it was only 3 in the end, because I think their centre forward McCooty came and had gone round Dean and missed an open goal. So I felt we were fortunate today to come away with a 3-2 defeat in terms of the way they defended, because I felt we defended really, really poorly today, and that's a shame. And as I say, we changed our shape to try and defend a little bit better and be a little bit more harder to break down, but that is just beyond belief for me today. And I think the disappointing thing, David, is for me is how hard we worked on Thursday night on defending situations, which we've not done today, in terms of wasting probably an hour and 3/4 on Thursday night defending situations that have arisen today, and no one's taken that on board, and that's sad. And as I say, if people aren't going to take it on board, then we have to keep bringing people in who are going to take it on board, and that's not an idle threat. But we can't keep wasting our time. That I'm watching Chippenham on Monday night, we train on Tuesday night, we work on loads of stuff on Thursday night, and people don't take the information on board, because that's what's happened again today, and it's let us down. For me, it's let me down, it's let Glenn down, and I feel very, very disappointed, first for myself, but also for Glenn, because I know how hard he's worked on putting training sessions on to make sure that we're on board on what we're doing. We defend the set pieces properly, we defend our goal properly, and today we've been abysmal in the way we've defended.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's difficult to find the words, actually. We had those 6 wins in 7 games. You haven't made many changes to the side since then, because everything seemed to be going swimmingly. Then we lose to 2 sides below us.
Well, as you say, you can't defend like we've defended, and that's all it was today. Some of the passing we did were excellent. Some of the movement was good, but I didn't think we played with any penetration today, especially in the first half. We got in some great areas. We never looked to try and get in behind them. We played in front of them. They were happy for us to play in front of them, and as I say, we got fortunate. It was a penalty, yes, but I think it was probably the first cross we put in the whole game. We got in some great areas in the first 20-25 minutes and refused to cross the ball. So, as I say, we have to go away. We have to look again at ourselves in the mirrors. I've always said, and said to the players there, we've got to plan and prepare now for Tuesday night against Torquay. But if we defend like that, it's going to be a long, hard night down in Devon on Tuesday.
Well, it's incredible. We had that early goal, as we mentioned, in the first minute, 23 seconds into the second half, and Dean Snares goes down to make another save. Especially
after we spoke at half-time about it. It's our kick. Let's make sure we don't give the ball away. Let's put balls in certain areas. And as you say, within 35 seconds, Dean's having to make a save to keep us in the game. So, as I say, it's bitterly disappointed at this stage. I could probably say a lot more than, especially the way I feel. We've had some words in there. As I say, this buck stops with me at the end of the day, because I picked the side, but that hasn't been good enough today. And yeah, we've worked hard and we've huffed and puffed and we played some good stuff, but yeah, we just didn't defend correctly in certain areas, on certain situations, and we've got our backside smacked again. And what's that? I think that's 26 goals we've conceded now, isn't it? I think so. Disappointed. We've got goals in us, we know that, but defensively we've not been good enough all season. We changed our shape, went from a 3 to a 4, which has worked well. You don't beat Slough and you don't beat Welling if you're a poor side, but and there's no disrespect to Chippenham. They've come here and they've done a good job on us today. But for me, we have to defend better than what we did, and we didn't defend well. And that starts, as you say, from 30 seconds, where one ball up, we don't go and challenge correctly for it. We expect him to miss it. He does, and he gets a little flick on, and then Lewis has not tracked his runner. Could Dean come out quicker? There's lots of little things there. There's all 3 goals we could have done and defended better than what we did, and we've just gone through that with them now. And we have to learn, and we have to just keep working hard on it. If not, as I say, if people aren't going to take the information on board, and this is why I'm disappointed for Glenn, because I know how hard he's worked on situations, on defending situations on Thursday night, and how we got the team set up and how we defended it, and we haven't defended it. We've defended it ridiculously poor. And we got our backside smacked, as I said, and in the end, they probably deserved it for the amount of chances they created, especially in the second half.
Jason Banton came in for his first start on the right side. in place of Carl De Costa. Your thoughts on him?
Yeah, it was just, I thought he did all right. I thought he's some good, got in some good areas. Just felt could have been a little bit better in terms of the final pass or the final decision. He's actually put the cross in for the penalty, but I felt there's 4 or 5 times in the first sort of 20-25 minutes he got in some really good areas, and we were just looking for maybe a little bit of a cross into the box. But as I say, we second, even at 2-2, Sam Merson, look how they defended their goal when the goalie's dropped it and Sam Merson's got the rebound, open goal. Their fellas dived in front of him and he stopped the goal. And today, we've not defended the third goal very well. The keeper's dropped it and their lads reacted quicker than us. But we have no one in sight. They're all appealing for offside. But you've got to follow shots in your own box and in the opponent's box. Sam's followed it in well. He's got his rebound. But they defended unbelievable. We got to the byline on 3 or 4 occasions today and we picked out the wrong choice. We should be pulling the ball back or picking people out in the box. We just smash it across the face of the box or we chip it. And as I say, a lot of the decision making today was not good enough, and in the end we paid for it by getting beat.
On the bench for a 6th successive game, we had Jacob Gardner-Smith. He hasn't had any minutes on the pitch yet. Are we ever likely to see him?
Yeah, we will do. As I say, he's only a youngster. He's done very well in training, but we've got some games coming up, and as I said, that's our squad again today, so we are very, very thin on numbers, but we have to accept that. There's no whinging from me, we have to just accept that that's the squad. But the squad, there was a consistency about the squad, and all of a sudden now we looked a little bit inconsistent, and today just summed it up for me, because as I say, we just didn't really go and apply ourselves in terms of defending properly. And you can't keep scoring, you can't keep conceding 3 goals. We've said it before. When we went to Western and we went to some of these places, we were having to score 3 or 4 goals to win a game of football, and we can't keep doing that. We've scored 2 again today. Their keeper's made a couple of good saves. We got in some really good areas today. We actually got some shots away, and everything ended up at the goalkeeper's feet. Where other weeks we might be able to obviously bend them round him or do different situations. But everything we hit today went straight to their keeper. And we got in some great areas. We played some good stuff, but we can't defend like we defended, and that was probably the worst defensive performance I've seen for a long, long time. Probably Gosport away 3 years ago when we got beat 4-0. So it's really bitterly disappointing, as I say, because I felt we'd got over what I've seen today, and we have to improve in terms of, as I say, going to Torquay on Tuesday evening.
We're talking to Torquay Tuesday. Ralston Gabriel came off the bench today. Presumably he's fit again now. Percy Kianjabeni didn't, but with David Noble, I guess he'll be struggling for Tuesday. Does Percy come into the reckoning?
Yeah, both of them are obviously recovering from ankle injuries. They train hard on Tuesday and Thursday. It's really just match fitness with the pair of them now, because they've obviously missed out for a couple of weeks. As I say, with Ralston, really, I didn't really want to risk him today, but when we went 3-2 down with 6 minutes to go, I think it was, that we just threw caution to win and put another body up there. And as I say, Percy, yeah, he's going to be fit, but is he going to have any match fitness? And that's what we've got to have a look at. As I say, it's going to be a long trip down there, a long trip back, and it will take its toll on people like David. But we'll have to see how he is on Tuesday when he arrives at the ground.
I remember when we went to Torquay in December 1980, it was a day like this, chucked it down with rain non-stop. With that to contend with as well, it's going to be a tough day for us, isn't it?
Oh, without a shadow of doubt. But listen, it was a tough day for us against Welling 2 weeks ago. So, and this is what the crazy situation is about the change room we have here, is that I know there's a very good side in there. I know there's a team that on their day is a match for anybody in this league. But every single one of them have to approach the game and have to be on their game, and we can't afford to have 2 or 3 players off their game. And today we've had probably more than 2 or 3 players off the game, and we've been punished for it. But all 16, especially the 11 starting, have to be ready to go and win a game of football. They have to defend in numbers. They have to defend for their lives, and at the end of the day we haven't done that today, and that's the disappointing thing, because in some of the other games you've seen us keep clean sheets against Welling, and that was that's probably the toughest game we've had all season. And that's not being disrespectful to Chippenham, but they exposed us in areas today which no other teams have exposed for a long period. So as I say, we have to look at personnel. Personnel have to improve. Personnel have to come to the table and make sure they want to keep clean sheets, because as I say, we've conceded too many goals this season, and I took note of that when we changed their shape again, and it sort of tidied things up a little bit. But today was just abysmal the way we defended.
There's no Zane Banton today. What was the reason for his absence?
Zane's away at the moment. It was all planned in pre-season when we sat down and offered him the new contract. The fact is that he was going to be away for 2 weeks in in November. So he's back. He's not back till Monday week. So, but we accepted that when he signed his new deal, and that's why we brought Jason Banton in, just to cover for him when he's away. So, but again, that's he's away in, I think he's away in Jamaica. It's his granddad's birthday, so they're over there for 2 weeks.
And we talk about personnel. Have you got anything you lined up in the next few weeks, possibly coming in?
No.
That's simple enough. Thanks so much, Ian. And that concludes that for today. So Saints selection action on Tuesday when we're away to Torquay United. That's on the 13th of November. The National League South. Kick-off at Plainmoor is at 7:45.